of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister A.H.A.D, and with me have Holy Queen Mother Mary Saleem, Brother Fat Abdulaziz, and Brother Jahad Saleem on our panel today. I wish you Ahezaah's greetings of peace. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be known about your being.
May the peace and other blessings of Ahezaah be known about your being as well.
Praise be to Ahezaah for Ahezaah called us to gather us together again in this type of setting. You know, it's been a while. I know we've been missing in action for a minute, but a lot of things have transpired by Ahezaah's will within our community. So, if Ahezaah so will, bless us to catch up to speed with us in our audience here being filmed. And may Ahezaah cause us to realize its need in this day and time for all of humanity, us of this community, and hopefully the world will realize that the Lord has never been absent from anything of his creation. And with that, we have a good topic today. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the topic is the land that we make believe. And I know some of y'all out there watching this show thinking, land that we make believe. I ain't talking about Mr. Robinson neighborhood, Mr. Rogers neighborhood, going into the land of make believe. But we talking about life and reality in this day and time now. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoy this conversation. Sister Holy Queen, Brother Jahad, Brother Fat Kid, whoever want to hold their hand to the circle first. By all means, please do.
You talk about Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, excuse me, Holy Queen Mother. You know, you got a lot of people out there singing, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, true.
But it ain't been too beautiful lately, man.
Yeah, but, you know, people wouldn't know it. They wouldn't know it.
Well, you know, I do want to address a couple of things. It's been almost 7 years or more that we haven't did an A.H.A.D moment. Lord Holy-Apostle Deen passed away in May in 2012, yeah. And there has been a lot of adjusting that we as individual and as a community have had to do throughout this time period. I apologize for the delay because we do still have a responsibility to call and educate those those that seek the path of the way to the Lord Most High, which we call Ahezaah. So in that I would like to express, you know, to everyone out there that, you know, I thank you for your patience and your understanding, and hopefully going forward we can still uphold that which Lord Holy Apostle upheld in regards to communicating Ahezaah's message to the whole of humanity. And that being said, there's so much going on in the world, so much has transpired, and I came up with this topic, the land that we make believe in, because that is what it is today. You know, Ahezaah talked about a day would come where the devil would run wild amongst humanity, and that day is upon us. And when I look around, all I can see is how everything is based on make-believe, you know, and how everybody has tagged out of the reality, which is Ahezaah. And with the catastrophes that's happening worldwide and in individuals' lives, you know, it seems like nobody is recognizing what's going on, you know, and hopefully this conversation will help you be able to express to maybe other people that you have concerns for, to recognize Ahezaah's signs and what's going on today. Because Ahezaah said that it would come a day where you will only be safe in the four corners of your home. And that day is upon us right now. You know, right now, if you go to the bank, you may get your head blown off. There's nowhere out here where it's safe. We're dealing with a society that is suffering with mental illness and it's being ignored. But if you look at the behavior, not from the people you may call insane, but the people that you may call sane. If you look at the behavior, I look at it as a sign from Ahezaah. And I'm trying to get people to look at it as a sign from Ahezaah, because Ahezaah already has spoken about these things long time before. It's just becoming manifested, and because we all locked up in this confusion, we can't see from looking. But surely Ahezaah speaks the truth. So therefore, that is the reason for my topic, and I'm going to start it off with, when I say the land that we make believe in, let's think about this here. Those who live in the United States of America, we don't look at the fact. We will never deal with reality, truth.
Right.
This land is not American property. This land was taken. If you come in my house and take my food, you didn't discover my food, you took it. You took it, you stole from me. Now you could see that reality, but people can't see that truth on a large scale.
Right.
They came into the Indian, the natives,
Native American, right.
home and took their land. Now they want to dictate about who comes into their land. This is not your land, no matter how much you profess it. And it ain't a black-white thing, it's a right thing.
Right.
A doer of evil is a doer of evil no matter what color he is.
Right.
But when we talk about land, this land was occupied by natives first.
Yeah.
But truly the land belongs to Ahezaah. See how we make believe? See how we make believe? We forget the owner. The owner is Ahezaah. Don't nobody have a right to really claim anything. But if Ahezaah has given you something, nobody have the right to take that which it has given you. And that we live in the land that is make-believe. And on that foundation, this country has been built on. Everything is built on lies and deception. And they feed it to us, and we eat it like we eat Burger King and McDonald's. We steadily digested it. Now we become bloated by it.
Yeah.
And our intestines can't take the fulfillment of it. And so then our intestines start spalling out the poison in our minds. And then we become doers of evil. And I started off with that because I'm starting off large before I bring it into small. When I say small, I'm talking about individuals. Looking at individuals, yourself, and the part that you play, take the part that you play in this whole scheme of make-believing. Anybody want to add on to it before? I don't want to make this a rabbit show.
Praise be to Ahezaah, Holy Great Mother. On a semi part of the larger scale, as we close in on the subject, let's talk just the United States government and the most recent government shutdown that was over a squabble between the two sides of the government. Let's call it, that's what it is, a squabble.
Right.
Democrat, Republican.
Yeah,
Call it what it is.
In the same league, but on different teams.
Yeah.
Same side,
they
polling
all-
side of the same pole.
Team-
Let's
They
call it
all,
what it
they all
is.
play for the NBA and get paid by the
Team
same
Fox and
owner.
Team Wolf, or, you know.
Right.
And okay, they argue their arguments, but at the risk of it all, or at the result of it all, you got people out there suffering, not getting paid their paychecks, getting behind their mortgages, being inconvenienced so much. So, you know, and these people, it's like, I think one Congress, it was a congresswoman, she had asked the question, shut her down right away. She says, wait a minute, these people aren't getting paid, but we're getting paid.
Absolutely.
The senators and the congressmen were getting paid. I mean,
Right.
how
elected
awful,
officials.
how dare you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're
They
gonna
work for the
starve me,
government.
I
huh?
was looking at something on TV. It was a clip where it was one of the president's. I don't know if he was an advisor. He's somebody that worked directly for the president, but he was doing the numbers on it live, national, and he was calculating like how much percentage or how what the percentage of the people that wasn't getting paid, and it was just those people that weren't getting paid was just numbers to him, and he pretty much related it to the people. Well, at least it's not this amount, that amount, but one family being starved. Like these are the people that you elect to so-called be the guiders of, well, the guides of society and compassion for humanity and proper government, so that freedom, liberty, and justice for all under your constitutional rights. But see, this is what happens when we take the constitution of man over the constitution of our Creator.
Absolutely, and going off of what you're saying, because that was going to be my other thing. You know, we play this game of, here we go with this make-believing. We play this game called voting, picking one over the other and voting them in, and then we got politicians, we have religious organization, all of them playing this game. This game with our life. They talk about, if you don't vote, then don't say anything. Well, if you vote,
crazy saying, yeah.
you saying something still don't work. You talking don't have no weight no more than what me saying something who didn't vote. But my whole thing is, where our ancestors, and Brother Idris had told me this, and I said, wow, our ancestors did a lot of things to become free from their slave master.
Right.
And one of them was voting. They didn't understand the concept of voting.
That was the first thing
They
listed.
voted because they was told they would be let go.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They didn't vote because they wanted the slave master to keep control. Why would I vote to get free so that you could still keep control? Why would I do that? That don't make sense. See, we have to start looking at things and see, do it make sense? Why would I vote to be free and also give you the power over my life?
Right.
And in this government shutdown, see, Ahezaah don't miss nothing. We may miss a lot, but Ahezaah don't miss nothing. Ahezaah said, okay, y'all want to play this game of letting man that don't surrender to me run your life? Well, now, look at this man running your life, and you ain't got no funds to take care of your responsibility. Because you didn't rely on me, you relied on something other than me.
That was Holy Queen. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There was two things that you mentioned that just struck me like lightning. We live in the land of the free, right?
Supposedly.
We far from free.
Right.
But there's a system of voting so that other people can have liberties. But I thought this was the land of the free. Why would you have to vote to get more liberties? Or you don't, if you didn't vote, you ain't supposed to say nothing. Ain't that unconstitutional?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why I call
freedom of
this.
speech. Freedom of speech for who?
That's what I'm saying. We live in the
Freedom of
manner
speech for
of
what?
we make believe in.
But you go back to what Brother Jihad, to piggyback on what Jihad was saying. If this is the land of the free, then the very thing that they put in their constitution, what you're talking about, the 3/5 of a human being, of a man, then we still don't count
Right.
as a person
It's
say,
only-
or speak
yeah.
what we feel or what we think, because under their constitution,
Right.
which had never
Right.
been taken off the books.
Right, we skip over that part. It's
Of
not
course,
it's
yeah.
not racism we being treated with.
Oh no.
It's the law that we're being treated with.
Right.
They still haven't changed that we're
Right.
that we're not 3/5 of a man.
Right.
So
No.
that's so by law when they kill our children in the streets, by law when
Well,
they
for
put these
human
drugs
beings.
into our community,
Well,
they're only following their law.
The 3/5 of the man.
Am I going off base here?
What they're claiming, see, this Constitution, what they sell, this fantasy, what they sell is that, okay, this is the perfect nation. This is the best nation,
Yeah.
the best in the world.
As opposed
Okay,
to
that
what-
three-fifths of a man, that thing in there that determined, I think, the voters' rights, the electoral college, and by counting the slaves, our ancestors at the time is 3/5 of a vote.
Right.
3/5 of a
We
vote.
would
There had to
even
be
kill
five
animals
of
and
them.
cattle and
Five
everything
of
else,
them
though.
had to
Sheep,
be
horses.
equal to 3 votes. That's where you
Right.
got the 3/5 concept. Now, supposedly, that's will be changed over by the 13th and 14th
Amendments, right.
That was supposed to now change. Now you're free. You're no longer chattel, no longer property. You're a human. And then the 14th is now you are a citizen, stuff like that. But they keep on after that. You done had amendments for women's rights. You done had various amendments for voting rights, and then they had to add a civil rights legislation to make sure that amendment for the voting rights is enforced. Stuff like that. But they keep on selling the people, we're the best. We're perfect.
They gotta sell
We're
the land,
good.
Holy Queen said, they
We're
gotta sell the
good, but they
land to
gotta
make
keep
believe.
correcting.
You gotta sell the land to make believe. Just like this Disney World,
Uh-huh.
Great Adventures, all the other places that we go
I've
to
noticed
get away
that.
from the world,
Oh no, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
to get away from the world, to enjoy the enjoyment of the world. Because if you start thinking what's taking place in our society today, you will
Right.
recognize quickly that
Yeah, yeah.
we're not really free.
Yeah.
Right,
We're
that's
not-
why they
it's not the
always
whole-
want you to take trips.
Right.
They want you to go and lay back and
Right.
become stress-free. Why do I need to be stress-free unless you stressing me?
Right.
Why I can't have that comfort in my home? Evidently, something ain't right. Something is not right, and we're not in tune with something that's going on.
That's that fantasy
It was-
trip that they
it
keep
was-
us on. If we're not gonna get too small just yet, but like what you were talking about, the various things that they sell to us. They sell us from everything from the products to the entertainment. Entertainment
Right,
is now.
right.
They used to say that a religion was the opium of the masses. I would say today the most dominant
It's-
religion in the world is
Sports.
entertainment.
Entertainment and sports now.
Sports is included in that.
In entertainment,
The
right.
biggest entertainment day of all
The
is
new
a
opium,
football
the new
game.
religion. No, it's
The
a new
new-
way of life
yeah,
for the people
It is.
today.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Because this is the way that our people raise our children. That freedom is. That's where freedom lies.
Right.
It's
Get
success.
put your
Right.
make sure your kids is exercising young so they can be the best football player,
The
so they can be the
best
best
rapper,
rapper,
singer.
entertainer. They ain't got no chance in the Lord. They ain't got no chance in the Lord
Right.
Most High. They better learn how to shuck and jive early.
Yeah, really, yeah.
And the other thing that people need to understand, and I'm telling you, this is not a black, white thing. This is
It's
the
not.
right thing.
It's not.
They not
Right.
doing this
Mhm.
to trick the African American people. That is not why this whole scheme of events is going on. You don't count because they already got you under control.
Right.
Right.
They keep you under control with you
You're
not
still
learning
our
how to
slaves, right.
become independent of them. So they ain't worrying about you. You still they house niggas
They're slaves.
and they field niggas.
And we'll fight to keep
And
them
you
accountable.
still
Right.
that. They do all this to keep their own under
Yes.
control. See, they give
Okay.
the Novocaine to their own.
Right.
Because if they own turn on them,
Right.
then that's the end of them. You turn on them, no problem.
Called the National Guard.
You understand
That's
what
called
I'm
that
saying?
protocol, yeah.
If you turn on this government, African American people, it's just like having roaches in your house. You set off a bomb.
Get the sky.
The roaches run away or they die. That's it. Boom. You ain't got to worry about them roaches no more, unless you continue to with your bad habits.
One thing that they do.
You understand?
you know,
But they need their people to support their nonsense.
That's
They
why-
need their people to believe in their nonsense, not you.
Prime example. Donald Trump in this war.
And
He's
that's
fighting-
not nonsense.
He's fighting tooth and nail to get this campaign promise
Right.
fulfilled. Why? Because he needs people to believe what he
Right.
wants them to believe
Yeah.
about the threat being coming
Right.
from whatever, which is a plain old distraction. But in the day of revelations, like a conversation that you had with us sometime last week, the word revelation only means reveal.
Revealing, right.
And there's things being revealed by this government takedown.
Right.
Now,
Right.
if everything that white people don't want, or excuse me, and this is not a
Caucasian.
race thing. This is
Caucasian.
not a race thing, but Caucasian people are very private. They keep a lot of things to themselves.
Right.
They don't like to be embarrassed and things of that nature. Now, the very thing that they want to protect has been revealed
I just,
about them living paycheck to paycheck,
just
just like the
spoke about that.
African Americans. We don't know how things are going to be revealed in this time.
Yeah.
But see, this would only be a problem. This is only a problem because of our race relations. How us as mankind allows our minds to be dictated by our own preference, our own comfortability, our own desires. So we elect these people to lead us in the forefront of stuff that we already want to do ourselves, and cheer them on and support them on. But really, we just supporting the illnesses that we already have within our own selves, our biases, our jealousy, our envy,
Our prejudices,
our hatred
right.
against one another as mankind. And the very thing that you do out to others, it got to come back to you. And the very thing that's been happening with Caucasian society, and again, I'm not speaking on racial terms, but I'm speaking in terms of karma, the laws of karma that everybody tends to forget. We've had poison dumped in and out of our community since our inception here.
yeah.
Not just physically, but in our minds. Now they're by their own people. They have the poison being dumped in them. They've elected the poison to lead them. And lead them into a world of stupidity. Clear stupidity.
You can go on the phone on the
I don't mean
Google.
to go too far.
Yeah, you can Google and quote. You're talking about the leaders. Lyndon Baines Johnson's the 36th president, right? Got a quote that he says to a famous journalist. I forget his name, but we even know his name. He said that if I can, Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ says, if I can convince the poorest white man to believe that he's better than the richest black man, he won't even know I'm picking his pockets. That's a quote in Google.
That's
No
the truth.
honor
And he
amongst
said,
thieves.
quote, and he said,
You
and
gotta
he also
remember-
said that if I can convince him to look down on anybody, he'll open his pockets for me.
You gotta go back.
That's
Wow.
their illusion of
Wow.
superiority.
Wow.
Wow.
They've been sold that.
That's the
and
way it
constantly
is.
being
You said you
sold.
could Google it, right?
Yes, you can Google.
Google it.
LBJ
It's a phone.
That's the trick. Like I said, that's one of the tricks that the doers of evil use. We call devils. Use today. They keep everybody in society, especially in this country, are divided by what? Classism, sexism, racism, any ism
Any
that keeps us divided.
They making up new isms
And they go along, yeah.
Just like they making up new holidays.
And new
for-
alphabets, but that's another
Yeah,
story. But,
every day.
But it all fits into the same pot of gumbo that they cooking us in. And that very thing that you said, that the quote of Lyndon Baines Johnson, is a true statement. Because that's what Trump ran on. I know you poor Caucasians are poor too, but you're better than these African Americans and other people of color. You're better than them. And I'm going to build this wall to keep who out? Now people forgetting the history. Let's give them a history lesson while we're at it. The United States that we call is a part of a continent called North America, which includes Canada down to Mexico and then South America divides that. In that, all what you call the United States now, from Colorado, California down, that was all a part of Mexico at one time.
Correct.
So again, you keeping who are the immigrants here?
Absolutely.
You gotta understand, see, this is the trick that the doers of evil continue to use on us. Because people will not study history, won't study what's going on in society, because they keep being fed to make believe through the media, what they hear on the radios,
They talking about.
what they consume. See, when people talk about consuming food, people always might think the physical food. Anything you consume from television or radio, that's food that consume mentally, that you eat and digest. Like Holy Queen was talking about earlier, that spoils your stomach, it swells your mind, makes you numb with the Novocaine she's talking about.
Brother Idris, they talking about building the wall. The wall is already built.
It was already here.
It's already built in our minds.
That's the first wall. That's the make-believe that they don't even talk about.
Yeah, it's already built in our minds.
Right. Because that's why you want the physical wall, because you already built the wall in your mind.
And who are you keeping
But
out
the
there?
whole thing is like Brother Idris said, a lot of people don't know nothing about the Alamo.
Right. Texas was a part of Mexico.
Right.
Texas was taken from the Mexicans.
Yes.
Right.
The United States has not discovered anything.
They worried about them getting back deep
They
over
wa-
there.
They said
Hey, see, that's the real deal.
they didn't discover anything. That first walk on the moon, they wasn't the first one on the moon. They wasn't the first at nothing.
No.
Nothing was they first at.
Make believe.
They not first at anything.
Right.
They always stealing. They nothing but a bunch of thieves.
Holy Queen.
And they let you believe that it's something else. And you trust them.
Yes.
You
Trust
trust your life with them. That's why you vote. And I feel sorry for our people. Because one thing, if you learn the art of manipulation,
Which they have mastered.
which they have mastered, that's why you have parents that still have their children with them, and their children be old as hell, and their children, they still treating their children like children, and their children still responding like children, but their children is working, taking care of them, and what have you. That came from manipulation. It was teaching that child from day one that you're gonna always need me.
Right.
And that's what they did to the slaves.
Yes.
See, we forget
Oh, they children.
the original slaves that they actually got off the boat, they wasn't able to manipulate them
Right.
because they was already developed. See, they try to act like the Africans wasn't developed. They was already developed people.
Civilization.
So they said we can't do nothing with them but beat them and try to get them to do what we want to do.
To submission.
But we're going to let them have children.
Right.
And if anybody studied the history of slavery, what they do with the children is they start making sure that these children are manipulated.
Yeah.
So once these strong African-minded people start having children, and they would make them have children with their own children,
Yeah.
they took control of our mindset. They took control of our mindset and they developed it in the way it would benefit them.
Nurtured it in evil. Nurtured it in evil. Yeah.
And the thing is, we won't go in within ourselves and try to undo the harm that they have done.
Yeah.
We just live life. We don't pray. We don't get on our knees and beg Ahezaah for help. We wait till a child comes into the world. We ain't trying to change nothing about ourselves.
Right.
But we go make babies. And then we start praying. Lord, I don't know why this boy's so bad. I don't know why he's a murderer. I don't know why he's a thug. Well, why are you praying now? You should have been praying before you conceived that child may have a chance to be the best that he could be. And before you start having them, you got to make sure you change you. If not, you just going to pass on that illness to the next generation.
And this conversation this morning.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right?